President of Delsea Regional High School District Board of Education, I hereby certify that all provisions have been met on the Open Public Meeting Law, PL 1975, Chapter 231, have been met. Notice of this meeting was mailed to the South Jersey Times, Sentinel, the Daily Journal, as well as the municipal clerks of Elk and Franklin Township. Please stand, pledge allegiance. Mr. Rowley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Presentations of the 2024-25 proposed budget.
Emma,
You're up first.
want to pull up, are you going to pull up That's for the presentation. Don't use this. Are we not using this?
That's.
No, that's not for you.
Right. Is this your email?
That's not.
Oh, Brianna jumped from. She's got logged out there, right? I can log in those files.
Yeah, when he logs over.
That's right. Can you show the presentation of Brianna? Hold on a minute.
I forget it. Oh. Is that what you want me to do?
Hold on. Right with you.
Sorry.
Talks amongst yourself.
Yeah, your last one's supposed to go smoothly.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel better now.
That's why I probably,
I will be, I always do a fun forget. I've done it for 15 years. And it dawned on me the other day, I'm like, the first Wednesday of the month. I look at the calendar, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to read it.
Turn this off, so I'll get your email now.
Yes.
I'll be eavesdropping.
Yeah, fine.
Just have a bit of water.
Right.
Hey.
Basic stuff. Maybe we'll do that next time. I just have a summer school session. I don't mean to have all these stuff done here today.
Sometimes it's real chilly, sometimes it's at least 4 hours.
Actual work. Conference. Rest period.
That's
Recess. I'm serious. They're actually doing construction of a third of the time.
Nope.
Not on my list.
Well, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's concentrating. How you going, guys? He told me if I could walk from here to there, I could give you a sauce. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Or am I here?
He told me,
Yeah, I'm not saying to you, I'm not saying it because I don't know.
Lumpkin, I've been back. 75%. He said they were next to the bone, next to my client, it's a good shit. So they only have 4 spots.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And those 4 spots. Yeah, I love. I still have my cash flow for certain things.
During the school year.
We're trying to other things, so 2 could get I don't want to let this. Vegetables, 8 months of activation. You get this far and you have I said, why am I going to go back?
So let's begin. He'll be on his way back.
I would love to if you would help.
Join us. Thank you for coming tonight. This is our annual budget presentation. It's funny because we don't change a whole lot because our goals and values are the same year to year, but the numbers change, obviously. And we have just finished our last year of S2, which is the amount of time that the state told us they would be taking money away from what they felt were overfunded districts. They considered Delsea to be an overfunded district, And with their last payment to us, we are now officially under adequacy. So I assume that means that they've achieved their goal and we are not receiving enough money to be adequate. But I imagine that'll come next year. We can hope on that. All right. So we always start the budget at the very beginning with our goals. And the top goal is the same and has been the same for my entire 13 years as an administrator, as a superintendent here. And that is always to maintain a superior academic and extracurricular program. Always. I believe we have done that over the years. We've gotten better and better as the years have progressed. I've talked to people in the past, and it's funny, Mr. Borrell recently asked a question, and he said, you know, why don't you ever talk about that? And he's right. So I put out something on social media. But our academic program, currently in the high school, has 51 classes that students can earn college credits for. So it is very, very possible for a student who's choosing to go to college to enter college as a second semester sophomore, if not higher, because that's how many credits they can choose. And it's in all across the board. It's in our CTE classes, it's in our Future Farmers of America, it's in our building and construction, it's all across the board. Students can get college credits. We think that's amazing, not only because the students are getting college credits while in high school, but we're saving families and students tens of thousands of dollars when they leave us. That's so valuable. We hear all the time about students being just so sunk in debt with our student debts, student loans. We think we help that. Extracurricular. I don't know a school that offers more than we do. Maybe one exists, and maybe they're equal. We offer, so many of our students, such a high percentage of our students are involved in either athletics or some extracurricular activity. Everybody's busy, and there's a place for everyone. We want to increase opportunities for all students. The last Commissioner of Education, Angelique McMillan, talked about, and we've adopted this philosophy, that she wanted every high school graduate to be enrolled, employed, or enlisted. And when she said that, it just made total sense to me, right? Like, our students are leaving us in 12th grade. We want them to have a place to go to, whether it's school, whether it's the military, or whether it's a job already that's waiting for them, or training that they've had to be ready for that. We have done that, I believe, not only through our academics that I just talked about, but through our expansion of the CTE programs. Dr. Fitz, 17, maybe more. More than 17 CTE programs. You're going to hear a presentation tonight about horticulture and that program. So many places for our kids who get certifications and little licenses to move forward in the workforce when they leave us. Technology. We're never caught up. We're never caught up. We've come up, we have, right now all of our students have a one-to-one Chromebook. We've had this for at least 10 years, I want to say. We were one of the first in the county to do that. I think Deptford was the first, I think we were the second. And that has changed education. That has changed the way teachers teach and students learn, and it has made education accessible for all. It took a while for our teachers to learn how to use that effectively, but I think they've nailed it. And recently we're trying, Mr. Collins is also very big on this. He feels a personal moral responsibility to leave this campus in a condition better than when he found it, right? And so we're always looking to update what the windows need replacing, the doors need replacing. And people will often say, oh, you know, you're spending money here. But we believe that when we leave this district, we want the students who come in after us to have the same wonderful facility that students before them had. And so that's, we think, is a responsibility of ours, and we take that very seriously. Security as well. How do we save money? The biggest way we at Delsea save money right now is through shared service initiatives that we have with many other school districts. Right now we share transportation services with Elk and with Clayton. So those are two districts that could do transportation on their own, but we run them for them. They pay us to do that, and that saves us some money. With Elk Township, I do not believe, and I think I'm pretty correct on this, there is not a district in New Jersey who shares more services with another district than Delsea. Elk and Delsea are pretty much a pre-K to 12 district. We run both districts. We share a superintendent, we share a business administrator, the assistant superintendent, the facility manager, technology, director of CST. Every single thing we can possibly share with Elk, we share. And then they share back with us. They have a student success coordinator that they hire, and then we use that person's services as well. So there's a lot of sharing going on. And we've entered into transportation jointures with other school districts. So because of our unique location in the county, we're at the very bottom corner of the county, we have some out-of-district students who need to go to out-of-district placements. And on our way up to those places, we often stop for other students from other districts and pick them up because they're going to the same places. So that offsets our costs and brings in some revenue as well. So that has been a wonderful opportunity for us. With Franklin Township, we also share our technology services. So Franklin, Elk, and Delsea all have the same technology tech team. We all share the same one. We are in the school health insurance fund for health benefits. That provides us some discounts and some group rates for things. And our GCSF, you're gonna have to say that. Our GIF.
It's the GIF.
The GIF, our insurance. And they work very closely with us on our risk management programs, and they help us become safer and save money. Let's do it 24-25. I feel like I'm repeating myself from last year because the initiatives that we had last year kind of slowed down a little bit. We are continuing to explore additional trades classes. So this current year we added plumbing, electric, and another construction class. We also added part-time law enforcement. Next year, law enforcement will be more full-time as the teacher will be retired from his current job and work here full-time. So we're always looking for more. I often have people from the community saying to me, you know, you should have a small appliance repair program, you know, all kinds of things. And yeah, we should. Right now, the problem is space. And we believe we may have found an opportunity to lease some space. We'll see. It's been very slow, but we think that might be an opportunity for us next year. We're expanding the dual credit. Every time Dr. Fitzpatrick can add dual credit, he does. We look to do that. We have agreements with 4 universities or 4 colleges. So different ones cover different classes. Exploring options for additional classrooms to house the growing CTE. I just mentioned that. We need space. Our students, we have waiting lists for those programs, for electrical, for plumbing, for construction, for ISAP. We have waiting lists of students, and we can't accommodate them all because we only have 1 teacher per class at this point. But we also need the room for it. So we're trying to do the best we can to make sure that all kids who want those classes can get those classes. And our choice schools, that brings in a little over $500,000, I think, a year, and without any tax on our resources. We have a low enrollment or a lower enrollment than we've had in the past. The choice students come and pay for their seats, and that brings us some revenue for us. Mr. Collins.
Let's switch spots. Okay, this is the financial part of it. This is after everything Dr. Graver spoke about. What's the bottom line? I'm going to pay for it. Okay, so this is the information that ties into all that. You'll see up here we have the budget, the overall budget for the last 2 years comparatively. The budget consists of 3 parts. There's an operating fund, which is essentially the everyday activity, transportation, teacher salary, the day-to-day stuff. Repayment of debt, which is our debt service, just like your mortgage on your home. Delsea has some debt. And then the third one is grants and entitlements, which are special funds from the federal or state government earmarked for a specific purpose. What I want to point out before I go further is that on the operating budget, Dr. Graver talked about all these great things we're doing. With that comes cost. Our budget, operating budget, is actually less than it was last year. And that's by a byproduct of how we have to do it this year. But we're still trying to provide the best for our kids with the reduced funds. I always say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I could glaze your eyes over with numbers and all that. So what I've done here is this, there's two parts to the budget. There's revenue, there's expenses. This right here is a detail of the revenue. You'll see, it's a simple pie chart. You'll see two big pieces of pie, which the first one up top here, on the upper right, that's our state aid, okay? The other piece is up on the left-hand side, is our property taxes. We're limited to what we can go up in our property taxes. It's limited and capped at 2%. We've done that this year, and in order to keep, as we said, keep moving forward with our programs and so all the things for the kids, okay? The rest, essentially our budget is made up of two pieces. You can see that. You're at 85% of your budget is two sources of revenue. One's controlled by the state, and one's controlled by a cap. Take a look at your household. If you have two revenue streams and they're controlled by something else, you got to be very, very cautious with your expenditure side. And here's the detail of that state aid. You'll see, and I'm sure you've read the papers, and Dr. Raven mentioned with this S2 funding, Delsea was fortunate. They were fortunate we didn't get cut. But you see we got an increase of $89,000. When you're talking about a $15 million of state aid, that $89,000 doesn't amount to a hill of beans. We're essentially flat funded. And she talked about that school choice aid. The number in the lower right down there, $608,109 is what we receive for our choice students. And we have 61 students we're eligible for. Here's the flip side. Here's our expenditures. The pie chart, once again, it shows you exactly where the money is going. We have regular instruction, special education, other instruction, tuition students, student services, administrative and technology. There's handouts, I'm not going to read them all for you, but you can see where all the money is going and how we allocate the funds for this upcoming year. Also, again, notice that it's a 0.24 decrease from last year in the overall expenditures. This is worth, I think, a lot more than 1,000 words, okay? This is the pie chart, it's the same pie chart I just showed you, but what I've done is I've pulled out to the left, you'll see a big chunk of about 51%. That's salaries alone. So our budget, half of our budget is made up of salaries, period. Before we even get into our budgeting, it's salaries, it's gone, 50%, 51 actually. The lower right here, you'll see another big piece, which is just about 20%. That's benefits, health benefits, Social Security, all the things that are associated with working at the school district. So right off the get-go, 70% of our budget has been earmarked before we even sit down and talk about it. Here again, this is what we talk about when we're saying try to do more with less for the kids and continue to provide for them. We're kind of handcuffed a little bit because 70% of it we have no control of. Not no control, it's already earmarked for something. All right. So what does all this mean? We take our revenue, we take our expenditures, you see where it's allocated. Where does that put Delsea in comparison to similar districts throughout the state of New Jersey? I'm sure if you've done any research or you've heard the taxpayer spending guide, it's kind of a report card for schools as to where they stack up against comparable districts. In our limited regional 7 to 12, there are 46 similar districts in the state of New Jersey. I've listed here where we compare to those other schools. For the most part, Delsea is only above half on one category, which is total support services. And those support services are, for instance, the library, child study, and those type of categories. But Delsea is, you see here, we're 2, 4, 6, 7, 5, 2, 9. All of these things that we're providing for our students, and we're doing it almost at the bottom of where a comparable school is doing it elsewhere. Now there's some, obviously North Jersey, Central Jersey, South, there's some differences that way. But ultimately we're operating at the bottom of the pile, so to speak, and providing so much more for our kids. What does it all mean? I know everyone's sitting here, all right, well, how's it going to affect me? Okay? The total impact on your property taxes are this. For Elk Township, remember, Elk is one constituent district, Franklin's another. For Elk Township in 2024, they will have a property, I want to stress to you, this is an estimate because I do not have the final assessed valuations yet. It's only an estimate, but it's fairly close. Elk will look at a decrease of just about 4 cents. Franklin will see an increase of 2.7. How does that break down? I'll do Elk's first. On the average assessed home in Elk Township, it's $212,460. That person will experience a tax decrease of $89 a year. Equates to about just under $750 a month. Franklin will see a general increase on an average assessed home of $189,507 of $51, which equates to just about $4, a little over $4.25 a month. What does 1 cent equal? 1 penny in Elk Township is 377,000 and some change. Franklin Township is 316,000 and some change. Again, assessed valuations, different towns, different, it varies, but that's how it's affected with the Delsea portion of your tax rate. As always, concerned about the senior citizens, the state of New Jersey has bumped up the property tax freeze to 100. Any senior citizen under $150,000 is eligible for a tax freeze. We're always aware of that, and we try to, I mean, we promote that as much as we can because we want people to know about it. So again, folks, we can sit here and Delsea would go through every number. Is there any specific questions? The board's been hearing this for hearing us talk about this for
November.
Yeah. So, but as always, if anyone has any questions, you could always call the business office or superintendent's office and ask whatever you want. Yes.
I have a question, Dr. Grader. When you were mentioning the different type of trades, I didn't hear anything about daycare. Daycare is very expensive.
Daycare?
Yeah. Is there any teaching students how to take care of someone else's child? I know they can be a problem, but it's also expensive for the parent to go out and hire or take the child to a daycare center, and most of probably their paycheck goes to daycare.
Yeah, it is expensive, and we don't. There are schools that have programs in-house where they have daycare for their teachers, and some of the students are in classes and they help watch. We don't have that at Delsea, but that's something to think about in the future. Thanks, Mrs. Lindsay.
Yesterday I went and got my hair done. It doesn't look good.
Looks great.
It was $65. Is there anything in your agenda about hairdressing or barber shops?
Also a very good question, and it would be a popular elective if we could get that here, I know for sure, but no, we don't have that. That's one of the more popular electives at GCIT, and so our kids who want to do that end up often going to GCIT. That would be great to start here. We have a club, I think, that does it, but not professionally, no.
Now, you had mentioned college education. A lot of students that went to college are not employed. They're living in their, so to speak, parents' basement. They think it's better to go to a trade school, which is a lot cheaper than go to college, and they'll still be making money, but maybe not as much as a college educated child. But the one that's going to college isn't making any money anyway. So I don't see where college education is meant for everyone. It's not for everyone.
It absolutely is not meant for everybody. You're correct, which is why we're trying to expand what we do give the kids. In the past, college it seemed to be a focus for schools, for high schools in particular. But we know not every student wants to go to college, and quite frankly, I have students who will graduate making more money than some of their teachers make right now. So in the trades are a very good profession, and so we're trying to open up that track for them.
chance. Anybody else have any questions on the budget? Okay. Mrs. Beck, would you please, your turn.
I'll make your motion.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the resolution adopting the 2024-2025 budget as presented.
Second. Second, any questions on this budget? Roll call vote. Mrs. Darley?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes?
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Patio? Yes. Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Dominio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
You're ready for the meeting.
Okay.
You're ready.
All right.
Presenters here, I think they
All
are.
right.
We're right into the meeting.
Okay, we're going to do.
Start with the
Yep.
presentation.
Okay.
Presentations tonight. I'm going to bring up Mr. Doherty first. Oh, I'm sorry. Michelle, you're going to introduce him?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware. One quick thing before she introduces him. I want to tell you that at least on a monthly basis, if not more often, Mr. Doherty goes out of his way, leaves the high school, comes to my office and says, I love my job. And so he is a man who's very happy doing what he's doing. Okay, Michelle, go ahead.
So I wanted to, as the CTE supervisor, I wanted to introduce Pat. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Doherty was an English teacher down here at the middle school for quite some time. He was the teacher of the year here at the middle school. And last year, when I kind of caught wind that Mr. Nelson was going to retire, I began my recruitment process of Mr. Doherty to come up to the high school. And it was honestly one of the best decisions that we could have made.
Went in the first round.
You went in the first round. The things that he has done, and I know that Mr. Cecile would agree with me, have been phenomenal. The change in simply the greenhouses and the way their appearance and the products they're growing and how he's changed the grounds around them. Our courtyard looks like it's done a 180, all in a very, very short time. And he's had a huge learning curve when it comes to learning the ins and outs of what's required in CTE to make sure we're meeting state standards. And a big one for him is the Future Farmers of America and the FFA, where we were left with almost little to no instruction of how it actually operated for all those years. So he's done a lot of work to make sure that our students have the most opportunity possible. So he has with him Jacob Bramble and Vinny Alenardo. So I want to thank those two students for coming out with him tonight. And I'll turn it over to you, Pat.
Okay, thank you. So I did want to just introduce two of my FFA students. They are officers in FFA. We do a lot through this club. And it just so happens that today, Vinny was very fortunate. We applied about 2 months ago, maybe, for jackets. FFA has these blue jackets, if you remember from back. There's a program called Blue Jackets Bright Futures, and they give away scholarships for these jackets, and Vinny won. So Vinny gets a jacket. We had another student that also won as well. She couldn't make it tonight. So two of our students were able to get those jackets, and there's going to be a nice ceremony at state conference at the end of this month that we're going to. So I have a little presentation. I just wanted to take a quick minute and thank the Board of Education, Pierre and Anthony specifically. I do go in probably maybe twice a month between the two of them for the best job in the world. I love what I'm doing right now. It's fantastic. I get to kind of live my passion, and hopefully the kids are enjoying that as well. I want to thank Michelle for helping me along the way, because there is kind of a learning curve, even though I've been a teacher for a while now. But it's a new program for me, and we're learning a lot, especially through the FFA program. I just want to take a nod for Margaret Durham and Tim Lamerson working with me with the outside maintenance people. We're having a very good relationship, helping each other out with different things, equipment, and some of our kids, which you'll see in a little bit in one of our slides, we are coming down and helping them with some weeding issues, and so we're utilizing our talent pool. I also want to thank our other CTE teachers that were mentioned earlier today. We're working closely with the Build It program. They're helping us make some things, and again, I'll show you in some video, or in some pictures rather, of some of the projects that we're working on, and they're helping me to create some cold frames and things like that that ultimately are going to help us grow these plants.
And then finally, Gary Nelson, who was kind enough to pass the torch on to me. And Gary had been here for a long period of time, so we're kind of standing on his shoulders moving forward with this. And these are some of his original students right here today. Our goals for this year were to improve the courtyard, work in landscape maintenance with the existing outside maintenance people. We've increased our retail sales, so we're actually growing and then selling, and I'm going to show you some examples in just about 2 minutes. For Christmas, we did some Christmas poinsettia sales. There's some Mother's Day things in here, and vegetables and so on, that we're starting our sale next week. We're in the process of trying to irrigate some of these things now because it's starting to get hot, as everybody knows today. And we're going to need to be able to continue to take care of these through that irrigation year-round. We've done several competitions. These gentlemen here have done really well. We have a first place in the state here. We did very well with some competitions this year, and I'll show you some pictures in just a few minutes. We are in the process of building a cold frame next to the existing greenhouse, which will help us to kind of transition some of these plants from the hot house to a cooler temperature so they get used to the outside temperatures, this time, especially this time of year. And then finally, some cut flowers that we're planting now that we will be able to cut and sell for next fall. Next, please. So in the courtyard, we spent a lot of time in the fall, kind of pruning and replanting. Last year, the alumni gave us a pretty healthy donation to help revamp the courtyard, and we've used those funds to plant all kinds of shrubs. We planted 250 bulbs, and if you had walked by the courtyard in the last 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, you'll see that there were a lot of tulips, a lot of hyacinths, even some allium in the bottom there, which are those big puffy Dr. Seuss looking things. They're starting to come up now. Go ahead. On top of that, we're working with the landscape, or with the maintenance department to help the landscape both in that courtyard and outside and around the school. Next. So we did 2 fundraisers this year. We did one with poinsettias, and we sold poinsettias that we purchased from one of our business partners, one of our local businesses here, Lucas Greenhouses, and we have a good relationship with them, and that sale went very well. We also handmade grave blankets. We had some greens that were donated by another one of our business partners, Dean's Evergreens, and we were able to show the students how to make grave blankets, and we had several of them out there for teachers and students and their parents and so forth, and that went really well. So we have our Mother's Day sale coming up soon, and gentlemen, you want to open these up, put them out on the table for me? So we've been growing some of these things from seed from the beginning to mid-January, and they're now starting to flower, as you can see. And we have anything from herbs, where we have basil, we have some tomatoes going, we have sunflowers, we have marigolds, we have snapdragons, and these things are all coming to flower right now, right at the right time. So we're having our Mother's Day sale May 9th and 10th, and we're going to be sending out emails to students, their parents, and teachers and staff to try to sell some of the product that we're growing. Back one up just a second. We also have some porch planters that we've made, some larger planters that the kids are also putting together, along with other pots of annuals. This is just a sampling. Sorry, go ahead. We have lots of vegetables as well, and hopefully next week there will be no more frost. You know, the almanac always says right after Mother's Day, so we can start selling our vegetables and planting those outside. We have a garden that we're planting up by the greenhouses that we're going to maintain through the school year and into ESY with some of our SAVE students, and they will be able to take care of and continue to harvest that produce. So again, we're working on irrigation, trying to irrigate as much as we possibly can, and for the next several weeks up until the end of the school year, that's primarily what we're going to be working on. So we have done quite a few competitions this year. We did the Southern Regional Flower Show at the Deptford Mall. We had several winners. You can see them there on the left. A couple first places, second place, all the way up to 5th place. Kids did very well at that locally. And then we went to the New Jersey Hort Expo, which is the entire state, at Mercer County College, and we had 2 first place. We had 2 first place winners for a fairy garden, and Jacob had his orchid, and that did very well. We placed a couple others as well, but 2 firsts, I think, for state was pretty good. And we are gearing up right now. Back one frame, please. Thank you. The Delsea Art Show is part of Achievement Night, which is next week. And we wrapped up today with, and it's kind of a secret right now, it's going to be revealed at the art show as to who took first, second, and third. So this one's kind of our own in-house flower show. And the kids have been working on that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Thanks. So we have been working on creating our own cold frame on the side of one of the greenhouses. What you see on the left there is what it's sort of going to look like at the end. And the wooden structure is going to be built by construction department, and they're going to help us create that, attach it to the side of the greenhouse. It goes at an angle, and it's not heated, it's just the sun, goes through, helps to heat up those plants, but at night it still drops down, and it's a process called vernalization, where it's getting the plant material from tender to a little more hardened off so that it's saleable. And this structure is really going to help us to free up space in the hothouse. Next, please. It will also allow us, and this is going to be our next big fundraiser for next year, to, we're going to plant more bulbs in the fall, but in pots that we will vernalize in those cold frames, and we will have a very nice Easter bulb sale next year. So we have to think way ahead. Also, cut flowers that we're planting now, we've already planted lots of dahlias and gladiolas that will be late flowering, late summer into beginning of the school year, September, that we will be able to cut and have for sale on our carts, that we'll be able to sell for various celebrations in school. And that'll be another revenue stream for them and something that they can, create lots of floral arrangements with. And that's about it. I tried to do all that in like 10 minutes. How did I do?
Questions from Mr. Dexter?
Okay.
Your retail sales, are they strictly for in-house or for outside? People that are interested?
Well, we're going to try to market it to our staff and anybody who works at the school, and then also students' parents. We're going to have flyers, so it would be to the whole community. But at the same time, I'm not trying to step on the toes of some of our local businesses, because our business partners are partners, and we want them to stay partners. So we're trying to keep the circle tight, and we're not overgrowing either. We're not really a commercial grower, so we're growing just enough to be able to sell, use it as a little bit of a fundraiser, which goes back into the student org funds that we can then reuse to buy more seeds and more flowers and so on. It's more primarily about teaching them how to grow.
Right. Thank you.
Good question. Anyone else?
Okay.
Thank you. Good job, fellas.
I'm going to leave that basil plant.
It smells real good over here.
I got this with tomato.
There you go. All right, which one are you? Strong gentlemen, we're going to take that. Gotcha. Thank you.
So folks, this is Brianna Rucci, and she's going to do the introductions.
Okay, so I have some math teachers here with me tonight from the middle school at Evan Scott, Heather Brescia, Christine Giannotti, and from the high school we have Olivia Fruits. So today we're going to give you a glimpse into our math classroom, some new math methods that we've been doing called Building Thinking Classrooms. And you might be thinking, why? Why do we need new math methods, and why do we want to show you today? We have a very brief illustration about our why.
Whoa, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello! Somebody, please do something.
So those were a lot of our students post-pandemic coming back into the classroom. They would get to a hard math problem and they would wait. They would wait for the teacher to give them the answer. They would wait till they could take a picture of it and put it on photo math later. So we needed to find ways to get our kids to think again about how math works. So in January, I took a few teachers with me to Rowan for a workshop on building thinking classrooms. We're going to show you now a glimpse into our classrooms with our students and our teachers about what happened after that workshop.
The math educators of Delsea Regional School District have introduced innovative teaching methods known as Building Thinking Classrooms, or BTC. Based on Peter Liljedahl's extensive 15-year research on effective teaching and student success, BTC aims to enhance student thinking through discussions about mathematical concepts and skills, moving away from traditional lecture-style teaching. Here, students take ownership of their learning journey. Each day, students are randomly grouped into threes upon entering the classroom. They stand at vertical whiteboards rather than sitting at desks to tackle problems. Teachers facilitate and promote problem solving and student-led conversations through specifically designed task cards. In turn, the learning becomes visible, allowing the teacher to facilitate support and feedback on an immediate and real-time basis. The math.
So you see in the video, a lot of the kids, they're all standing up, they're all working at these whiteboards, and they're all engaged. Our goal with this is to get the students to start talking math again with one another and to get them to actually take some responsibility for their learning instead of always looking to us to feed them the information.
And every single student works in a randomized group every time. So in these random groups, we try to keep it to about groups of 3. This is recommended by Peter Liljedahl. In some cases, like I have a very large class, so I will kind of default to groups of 4 if need be, as Peter instructs.
So how do our students feel about building thinking classrooms? We did a quick survey between the middle school and high school. And as you can see, the blue is representing our building thinking classrooms, and the red is representing our traditional classroom. And 74% of our students prefer the BTC over the 26% that prefer traditional. So you can imagine us walking into these children telling them, guess what kids, we're gonna try something new, and we're gonna randomize your group, you're not gonna know who you're working with. That's deeply rooted in studies to show that it's just a really good way of grouping children to have it be random, and they were very apprehensive at first, but if you read their comments, they actually thoroughly enjoy working with new and different people every class, every single period. They come up to that board and they wanna know who they're gonna be grouped with, and they really have kind of jumped right into that aspect of it. They also really like standing and just working through the problem with their groups at their own pace with minor little hints from us here and there. That was a little bit getting used to too, where we just drop you a hint and then we kind of walk away and let you and your group work it out. So they're just talking so much more math than they have really post-pandemic up to this point. So it's great to see.
We gave our teachers the same survey, which method they prefer. And 100% of our teachers prefer to use building thinking classrooms. And very similar to what Ms. Brescia was saying, seeing this happen in your classroom is incredible. And I think my teachers are going to be annoyed with me pretty soon because I can't stop inviting people in to see it. Because when you stand in the middle of the room and you're looking around you and every student is talking about math, it's just really something special. So we're going to leave you with this quote. The goal behind Thinking Classrooms is not to find engaging tasks for students to think about. The goal of Thinking Classrooms is to build engaged students that are willing to think about any task. So I would be remiss if I did not talk about my phenomenal math teachers. It takes districts about 2 years to implement this. These teachers, for a couple hours in January, saw this and came back and dove headfirst. The planning and the preparation it takes to do one of these lessons is huge. And that just goes to show that how much they valued this and saw the positive effect it was going to have on their students. I also need to give a shout out to Mr. Appleback, our fix-it and construction teacher, because in order to effectively do building thinking classrooms, you need whiteboards all around the room. So our students, we can hold this up real quick. Our students have built us whiteboards. 55, in fact, whiteboards that are going to be installed in our classrooms this year and next year. And one of our students, Gianna Princiata, has led this effort with measurements and cutting and painting and getting them all ready to be implemented in our classroom. So I think one of the cool things about Delsea is we have this family feel about us. And this is one of those full circle moments. Our students are building the boards that they're going to use in math when they get there. Students filmed these math classes and put that video together for you. So it really is this full circle, awesome staff, awesome students we have here at Delsea.
Any questions, comments?
Fantastic.
Great idea. I wish we could pick you all up and just put you in the classroom because it really feels different.
You all said that.
Yeah.
We're like, invite them in. It's not.
And everyone says not yet.
You should come to your class, I won't go to Heather's class.
Absolutely. Come on in.
Great, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It actually sounds like a time for board members to go visit the schools again.
Yeah.
For the different things.
Well, at first, the presentation was going to be having you folks do the math. And then we thought, well, maybe they're not interested in doing that, so the video is better. We're going to send you to whiteboards to do math.
Have a motion for the minutes of the last meeting?
Motion to accept minutes sent off.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Communications?
None.
Okay. Citizens? Any citizens like to come up?
Ms. Blinsky.
Yes, it's been on TV a week or two now with these protesters, the college students. Is anything going on with Delsea students walking out? Because there's some talk about
No,
high
ma'am.
school kids now.
No, ma'am.
Suppose it was to happen, which I hope it doesn't. What would happen to the students? Would they be
I would
expelled?
trust our administration to handle that. We've had, many years ago, we had an incident. Mr. C, you want to talk about it?
So we had one some years ago where a lot of high school students were walking out. It was after the Parkland shootings, I believe it was. And our students are so good about it. They came to us, expressed their concerns about some things that were going on. So instead of having a walkout, we had an assembly where we got to talk about some things, get the feelings out, and kind of support each other in that way. So I would bet that Ms. Blight, our student member of the Board of Education, can tell you, our students are really good about taking things to administration, and we try and listen and come up with the best answer we possibly can.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on from here. Reorg. Make a motion to approve items 8A through B.
Second.
Second. Any questions on the second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Make a motion to approve to appoint Joseph Collins as the Board Secretary, Business Administrator.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mrs. Pirelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Matteo?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Armidio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Make a motion to approve the additional pay rate not covered by collective bargaining units as listed.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Matteo?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Armidio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Make a motion to approve the District 2024-2025 list of written curriculum and courses, studies, and texts.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Mattio?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Arminio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Make the motion to approve in accordance to policy 6471, school district travel. In accordance with state statute, establish the maximum travel amount of 2024-25 school year in the amount of $7,138 for the operating funds. Maximum travel amount includes travel expenditures supported by federal funds. The annual maximum amount per employee for the regular business travel shall be $1,500 for the school year of 2023 to 2024. The school district was budgeted for $8,965 for the operating fund. As of April 15, 2024, $6,988 has been expended. The total amount of travel supported by federal funds for the prior year and the current and the projected amount for the next budget year as follows: 2022-2023, $1,567.32. 2023-2024, as of 4/15/2024, $336.69. And 2024 and 2025, $1,500. We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Speck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot? Yes. Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Mattio? Yes. Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Arminio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Okay. Mr. Arminio, you are on.
Okay. I make a motion to approve following number 1 through 25.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I think you should have read the whole thing. Joe? I think you should have read it.
I can go back.
I have nowhere to go tonight.
I gotta get to my section. You could read it off the screen. Read it off here, got it.
It's a long list.
Yes. Okay.
Budget, this is back.
Mr. Beck, you are on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my, my paper because I'm still not.
Yeah, you use the paper right now, I'm still scrolling too.
I make a motion to approve the board secretary report in accordance with state statute for the month of March 2024. The board secretary certifies that no line item account has been overexpended in violation of state statute and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report in accordance with state statute for the month of March 2024 and treasurer's report and the treasurer's report and secretary's report are in agreement for the months of March 2024.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve in accordance with state statute the certification of the board secretary that there are no changes in anticipated revenues, amounts, or revenue sources.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the Board of Education certification pursuant to state statute. We certify that after review of the Secretary's monthly financial report and upon consultation with the appropriate district officials, that to the best of our knowledge, no major accounts or fund has been overexpended in violation of the statute, and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the report of transfers for March 2024.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Doherty? Mrs. Speck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Matteo? Yes. Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Minio?
Yes.
Mayor votes yes.
I make a motion to approve the following bills as listed.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Roll call vote. Mrs. Stardy?
Yes.
Speck?
Yes.
Mr. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Yes.
Mr. Dempsey?
Yes.
Mr. Matteo? Yes. Mrs. Gaglione?
Yes.
Mr. Minio?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
So concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Borelli?
Thank you, Mr. President. I make a motion to approve the following clinics, workshops as listed.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve Apex and EduSeer as credit recovery vendors for the 24-25 school year.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the 24-25 novel list, summer reading list.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the grant agreement amendment for the fiscal year 23 School Regionalization Efficiency Program grant agreement between the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government Services, and Delsea Regional School District.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve Salem County Special Services to complete evaluations and provide services as needed for 24-25 school year at approved rates.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you. Mrs. Garza.
I make a motion to approve on the first reading of the following policies as listed.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you.
That's all for me.
Thank you. Mr. Lightfoot.
Make a motion to approve the following athletic positions for the 2024-2025 school year as listed.
Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the wrestling team to stay overnight at Caesars in Atlantic City for the state tournament from February 29, 2024 through March 2nd, 2024 with the cost of $2,000.
Second. We have a second. Any questions?
Yes.
Mr. Lightfoot.
I know we're doing more with less, but past couple of years, actually, if we go back, it was 3,000 with only 3 or 4 kids going. And then it's been 2,500 the past couple of years, and we've had 10 2 years ago, 10 kids going last year before, a year ago. And then this year we had 11, and 1 was a girl, which creates another room issue. Not to pick on Anthony, but we're paying Anthony $400 some by himself to go down one night. These kids are staying several nights, and there's 11 of them. Just, I know we got to do more with less. Just curious why it went down again.
We eliminated 7 teaching positions this year because there's not
I
enough
know.
money.
I just had to ask.
Yeah. And the money that Anthony uses comes directly from titles. Like, it doesn't come from the general budget.
Any other questions? No, second. No other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Matty, still on the ground.
Make a motion to approve the following facility requests as listed.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you. Mrs. Gaglione.
I make a motion to approve the following cafeteria report for March 2024.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Dempsey?
I have nothing.
Okay. Superintendent Clerk, Dr. Gager.
Recommend the board approve the following special education tuition student placement as listed.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
Recommend the board approve the following field trips in accordance with our fee schedule and educational significance as listed.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
Recommend the board approve the March 2024 high school, middle school HIP report as presented last month.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
Recommend the board acknowledge the receipt of the April 24 high school, middle school HIP report as presented.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it.
And your district reports are there for your perusal.
Thank you. Ms. Flood, you're on.
All right. So I wanted to talk about our unified track meet we had last Wednesday. It was crazy. There was a ton of school there, a ton of athletes. Like even I think it was Atlantic City. They have one student that just comes and he just runs by himself, and it's just him. And then it was really, really great. And today, well not today, then we had it during the school day, which was something new we've never done before. And it was great because a lot of students came out and watched during their gym classes, any periods they were really allowed to go. And we had a unified practice on Tuesday, and Miss Jones had asked if they liked them there, and they were really, really excited that their peers cheering them on. And a lot of kids even made signs while they were like throwing shot put and stuff. We had, everybody got a medal, even like the students running with them that are the partners. And then we had one of our kids, Dylan, my partner, he won a trophy for shot put. So it was just a really, really great event. We have another one coming up in Mainland, but for like such a big event, it was not chaotic at all, super organized, and there was like a lot of school spirit.
Abby Jones runs that for our school, and if ever you feel bad about humanity or the world, then just go to a unified event because it is amazing. 15 schools, I think.
Yeah, I think she said there was like 230 just like students and athletes,
right,
which is crazy.
And to see those kids doing their best, and the stands were full because kids during Delsea 1 during their lunch would come out, so it looked almost like a football game. Mr. C, you want to talk a little more about it?
So many kids. So we had all the PE classes went out because it started about 10 a.m. So the classes right before lunch, the students went out in their PE classes. But then at lunchtime, and this is what was awesome, the kids stayed. And they kind of watched the clock. All right, I can run in now and get something to eat. There were other students that were in the building, ate their lunch real quick, or took their lunch out with them to come out there and support the students. It was awesome. It was awesome. That's what I said.
The best event we had of the year.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Executive Board Manager report, Mrs. Beck.
We all have the link to the different files. I don't have any update. I know there's a meeting coming up. I'll attend that virtually. If there's anything, I'll bring it forward and bring it up next month.
School Administrator report, Ms. Carl.
No.
Nothing. Old business? Any new business?
I just have one, or two actually. I'd like to send out congratulations to Drew McWilliams for winning the Gloucester County Boys Tennis Championship. And also Frankie Carrione, who got his 100th strikeout. That's all I have.
We'll throw one more in there. Mike McGinley setting the all-time hits record for baseball.
Great.
Citizens. Any citizens would like to be heard on this section of the meeting? Okay, move on. Any executive?
No executive.
Okay, have a motion to close the meeting? Second. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you and good night. Drive safely.